Hello, everyone,
What up?
and welcome to the second episode of Jakarta Connected. And today we're joined by Ezra Nathaniel, and he's a fellow sneakerpreneur. I think that's the word for it. He's coming here. He's
Sure.
I
coming in to talk
guess.
about He's coming in to talk about kind of like sneaker culture and everything involved in that in Indonesia specifically, but also in comparison to how the sneaker market is going on worldwide as well. So Ezra, if you could give a bit of a background of yourself, what you do, how you're involved in the sneaker
Mhm.
industry and all that.
Okay. Well, hello. My name is Ezra. I am 18 years old. I was first introduced into the sneaker industry back when I was in early 8th to 9th grade. I was about 15 years old, probably around that age.
Mm-hmm.
I was introduced by a friend that got a pair of NMDs, if you know what that is. It's
Oh
the
yes.
Yeah, they
and
were
then
pretty
NMD
big.
was
we
really high. It was
Yeah,
really high. They were going for $1,000 resale.
they
Back then, my friend got a pair.
those days.
Those days, yeah. My friend got a pair for retail, and he was showing off to me. He was like, "Ezra, this thing can go for millions of rupiah. Um, you should try to get into this." And so that started my journey. And now, 4 or 5 years later, here I am. Um, I'm now more into. I've been doing independent reselling, as in most people like to start making their own online consignment shops, but I prefer to do it myself, and I like to export sneakers abroad instead of selling locally here in Indonesia.
makes sense.
So there's that. Mhm.
Yeah. So like yeah, oh my god, when you mentioned NMDs, man, I skipped school for it. I remember skipping class to get
Yeah,
NMDs. That
yeah,
was
yeah.
oh yeah. But like
Skipping classes for sure.
yeah, for sure. God damn that oh those days, the NMD days, the Ultra Boost days, oh when they were hyped, when they
Hmm.
had resale.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Hmm.
exporting sneakers, you mean like bringing sneakers from overseas to Indonesia
The
or like
opposite.
The
oh
opposite, yeah.
I know a lot of people like to do that. A lot of people like to bring sneakers from overseas to Indonesia,
yeah.
but I like to bring sneakers from Indonesia to overseas. It's the
Oh.
reverse. Yeah.
Wait, so like what brands do you bring like over to overseas? Like what type of
Okay.
shoes?
Well, it of course depends on the market.
Right.
Depends on what I see. I look for sneakers that don't go for much here in Indonesia, and then I sell them abroad. For example, I think early on I started with a lot of Jordans. A lot of Jordans, not Jordan 1s. Jordan 1s are really hype here. Like
Oh,
the
oh,
weird Jordans,
I think
like
I get
Jordan
you now. Yeah.
10s,
Yeah,
Jordan
yeah, yeah.
11s, Jordan 12s, Jordan whatever. They don't go for much here. Only the OG sneakerheads, like the hoopers, the basketball players,
Yeah,
the basketball enthusiasts like them. But the mainstream sneakerheads, they don't really care for them, and they don't go for much here. And that's why I sell them abroad, because they have much more demand abroad.
all right, okay.
That's how I make my money. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that actually, that actually made me think of something because like since like I haven't been really active in the reselling and
Mm-hmm.
like all the hype stuff in back in Indonesia. When I see over here like people are really hyped up about weird things. Jordan 1 mids, Jordan
Yeah,
1
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
mids, like I bet I just remember like in Indonesia those things were sitting like Jordan 1 mids never sell, but then here um mids are like I don't know, like especially base sizes, like small sizes. Um,
That's yeah.
yeah, like they sell for like quite a lot. Like I mean, if you sell one by itself, you only get lunch money. But then if you sell
True.
like in multiple, if you sell like
Mm-hmm.
in like a bunch of them, then you get a lot of money. But yeah, I never thought about it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like taking less,
Yeah.
like taking less hyped up sneakers in Indonesia and like
Mm-hmm.
selling it
Mm-hmm.
abroad. That's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's actually that's like very
Yeah.
interesting. But then
Yeah,
like
so sorry, you were about to say something.
no, that's fine. You
Okay, so it's actually very, I find it quite interesting in a way where I think it's safe to say that Indonesia came pretty late towards the sneaker hype. and sneaker
And,
culture.
yeah. Mhm.
And because of this, one could say that we're still in kind of like the baby stages of hype.
Ah.
And since we're kind of like mainstream media right now for Indonesia's Air Jordan 1s and all that, do you think that in the long run we shift towards a more worldwide kind of sneaker culture, like the Air Jordan 10s and all that, like you mentioned before? Do you think Indonesia will embrace that culture and it'll be as famous here as it is worldwide?
Okay, I want to say something about what you said. You said how it's not that it's in the baby stage here. It's
Mhm.
really, really notorious here in Indonesia, in my
Okay.
opinion.
I think probably it's best for me to repeat the question because I kind of
Yeah,
cut
yeah.
you off there a bit.
Go for it. Go for it.
All right, okay. Um,
Mhm.
what was I? What did I ask? All right, okay. I remember. All right.
Mhm.
So I think it's pretty interesting that Indonesia is still somewhat in the main. Wait, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. Okay, repeat it. Okay, now I
Baby
remember
stage.
what I
Baby
said.
stage.
Baby stage,
Baby
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 stages.
stage,
Baby
right?
stage.
stages.
Um, I think it's okay. Wait, I accidentally called Siri.
Oh god.
I, let me
Yeah, you
continue.
called.
I
Go
think
for
it's
it.
pretty okay.
Uh-huh.
I think it's pretty interesting that Indonesia. It's safe to say that Indonesia is quite late towards the sneaker culture and the hype around sneakers. And is it safe to say that Indonesia is still in the baby stages, and in the long run, we'd shift more towards kind of a more mature market similar to worldwide, for example? So like what the sneakers you mentioned before, the Air Jordan 10s, the OG sneakerheads,
Hmm.
we would Indonesia would embrace that culture, and it'll be just
Hmm.
as hype here as it is overseas.
Okay, I get your question now. Um, in some aspects, I do agree that Indonesia is behind. It's lacking. But overall, the sneaker scene in Indonesia has been pretty big. It's been, I would say, my peers and I would say that my sneaker reselling peers would say that it might have passed the prime stage because it was so hyped up the past 3 4 years, that I think now people are shifting from sneakers. It's definitely toned down a bit because the it's become so mainstream that even like my dad, my mom would know about it without having me explain to them. It's my aunt and other family relatives would know about it. Become so mainstream that I think Indonesia has been one of the most active nations in for the sneaker community for the past few years. But yeah, Indonesia has been behind with catching up by the sneaker trend, even though there are original sneakerheads that have been here since the early days, like 2000s and the 80s, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
like
Hmm.
in the at the same time, like also like at the same like I guess it's not hype anymore. Not as hype because
Hmm.
I remember in the beginning of it, like it was so hype. People were the
Yeah,
lines were crazy for like
the
every
lines were crazy.
single for every single release and things like that. But the one thing I don't see
Exactly.
a lot in Indonesia is like in overseas, like bots are like a huge thing.
That's
And
a great point. Yeah.
yeah, bots is a huge thing. But then, do you think
Hmm.
bots will be ever used in like that type of market in Indonesia, or is it already? It's not. If it's never gonna reach that hype where they will ever need like where it ever requires the need of bots.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know how bots are overseas. I've seen there
Mm,
are YouTubers that does botting, sneaker botting, and he uploads his
right.
cops, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? You know the guy?
No, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know who you're
No.
talking about, but then like a
Yeah.
lot of
Okay.
people do that. Even I do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right. There's. Oh, you do that.
I mean,
Awesome.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't post things, but I've I've dived into the world of bots. You know, there's a lot. I see a lot of L's. I see a lot of W's. It's a
Yeah.
bit. It's a mix thing.
Okay, here in Indonesia, from what I see is that it's been sort of like a taboo topic. People don't really talk about it too much, and people don't really show off. I've never seen anyone show off a bot cop of like 100 pairs of shoes, but I know for a fact that people have been doing it here in Indonesia. I predicted like a couple of not I don't know if it's Indonesians, but from what I know is that I have friends from overseas, from
Right.
Australia.
Right.
He comes to here and he bots here because he knows it's a less crowded market for bot users, and he's been taking advantage of that. So I think as more people realize the capability of using sneaker bots, more people will be going towards it. But right now there's no tutorial that are like local persona that can really amplify that topic yet. Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I think that's what I think.
So like it's just an untapped like thing yet. So
it's pretty untapped.
Yeah, nobody's using bots yet there. I mean, cause like I don't know, overseas like it's like virtually kind of impossible to win a release without a bot. Virtually,
overseas it's essential, right?
It's
like bots are essential. Almost.
Unless they make like, if you're getting like releases, but if it's raffles, then you don't need bots. But bots increase your chances for raffles. Yeah, bots increase your chances for raffles and things like that. So I feel like, yeah, that's why overseas, like the emphasis on bots overseas is very, very high, because everybody is using it. Like you can't get into the reselling business without a bot, unless you just want small money small money here and there. But yeah, but also sites though, like overseas sites like Supreme and then like Adidas and things like that, they have a lot of bot combating tools, you know. I don't know how like Indonesian sites will fare against that, you know, because they're very, it's quite advanced how they prevent the bots as well. That's why people usually have different proxies. They run several tasks as well. By task, I mean just run several like bots so they could the refresh rates and things like that. So what do you think about that? Like in terms of the security, like how should it be encouraged if it's not that hyped yet in Indonesia? Should it be encouraged? A lot of people don't see it as a good thing. A lot of people don't see bots as a good thing.
Well, yeah, a lot of people don't see it as a good thing for sure. Actually, do you know about Kompas? Sepatu Kompas? It's a local sneaker brand here in Indonesia.
Okay.
Kompas. Yeah, it's basically
like the newspaper.
No, what?
No, not the newspaper.
I thought of the newspaper too the first time. I was like, what?
It's spelled COMPASS. So like a compass.
Okay. Oh, like a compass. Yeah.
Okay.
Like a compass. So it's been really hyped for the past 2 years or so. People have been embracing local pride recently, and the hype's carried on. Lines were crazy back before Corona. Lines were crazy for those. Even like at some point, it was at one point it was the lines for the Compass shoes were longer than Yeezy lines, because of course Yeezy was dying already. But the Spato Kompas was crazy. And after Corona, they shifted towards Tokopedia. They started releasing. They collab. I think they did a deal with Tokopedia, and which is, as you know, the e-commerce site. They did the release there, and a lot of people threw in bot accusations because it was so hard to get. So, wait, what was the question again? Like how?
Yeah, I mean,
forgot.
I'm
trying to connect my.
His question was how how Indonesia compared to other countries will be able to maximize bot combating tools because it's so
And what,
advanced overseas.
yeah,
Is
and
that
like
that?
if
Yeah.
it's a good
Combating.
thing that we should
Yeah.
encourage bots in Indonesia.
Encourage who though? Because bots are only really primarily used by
For resale.
resellers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people that
No,
buy
yeah,
them to wear don't really use bots,
yeah, I know,
as far as
but
I know.
but even now, like people who just buy to wear, they have bots. Like
Yeah,
I've
it's
known a
getting
lot
there.
of people. Yeah,
Mhm.
I know a lot of people. It gotten to the point where it's so simple to use a bot where anyone can anyone can use a bot. So like in the overseas market, it
Mhm.
seems like that. A lot of people, like even people who just want to wear the Dior Jordans that came out, I know a lot of people who just want to wear, who decided to get bots
That was,
for it,
yeah, of course, of course.
who wanted to get bots for it. So I mean, it shows that
Mhm.
like even the general market, not reseller market, but like the general market who wants to wear it, who wants to use it for like just you wear it, they have
Mhm.
the they have like they have the resources, and it's simple enough for
Yeah.
them to figure out by themselves. So like do you encourage the idea of using bots? Because a lot of people, it's a mixed field, because some people say, oh yeah, bots is
Okay.
future of
It's ruining
uh
them. Yeah.
is also, yeah, it's either ruining it or it's the future. That's like the argument. So I want to hear your opinion on that.
Okay. My opinion on that. I don't think we can really evade that. I
Mm.
don't think, because the bot scene, I think it's always evolving. It's always trying to beat the countermeasures set by companies, the sneaker companies. That I don't think the sneaker companies will ever catch up to the bot standards. I think it's just gonna keep on being there unless they come up with a different system on coming out releasing these shoes. I think no matter what, I think Indonesia at some point will come succumb into that bot scene, but it's definitely not there yet. It's not that mainstream here yet.
uh okay.
What do you think? Do
I'm
you like bots?
mm,
Do you encourage bots?
the thing is, okay, I've been a manual user for all my life before I went overseas, and then
Hmm.
when I went even overseas, I still did a lot of manual stuff and still got W's with manual stuff. So it's not
Yeah, it's
impossible.
possible.
It's
It is still possible with
possible, but
manual.
you just
Yeah.
need to aim for the right things. It's hard to do. It's like if it's releases, it's all luck basically. If you're not going for a bot, if you're not using a bot, it's all luck actually. Even with a bot, you're still betting it on luck because your
Yeah.
bot might not work. And I mean, it will work, but then it might not beat out the other bots which could
Hmm.
be quicker and stuff like that. But like,
Hmm.
my opinion on it is like, I mean, my opinion on it is if you,
It is what it is.
it is what I guess it's not. It's kind of it is
Well,
what it is, and at the same time, like if you do like if you want to collect, I guess if you want to collect shoes and stuff like that, like people usually use bots for like higher end shoes as well. So
Yeah.
if you want to collect or if you want to wear, I feel like you should shell out. It's fine to shell out. It doesn't seem fair, but then it's fine to shell out because the hype around it is like insane. Like if you see, like for example, dunks right now, dunks
mhm,
overseas, they're like a year ago, they're like what? They're like beaters. Like you throw them to the trash, they don't mean anything. But
mhm,
now
mhm.
they're like resellable, double the price no matter
They're
what.
crazy now. Mhm.
Yeah, and now even general releases are becoming hype. So I guess it's all like people only complain they can't get it when it's hype. When it stopped becoming hype, where the people who are complaining they can't get it just stop because it's not hype anymore. That's my opinion on it. If you really want a shoe, then I feel like you'll still get it, even with a bot or not. Um,
Okay,
yeah, you'll still get it
There's a
without
will, there's a
even
way.
I
with
get
a
it.
Like if yeah, eventually you'll get it when the hype dies down.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
really want
yeah.
the shoe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless
yeah.
you're there for the hype, you're like, oh, I want to be hyped, but I don't want to spend. You need to spend money to be hyped. It's a fact. You need to spend money to be hyped. You can't be hyped
Sure.
without.
Yeah.
It's just how it is, and like if you're complaining that you can't get something or bots are beating you out, it's just how the community is. You can't go there,
Yeah.
cry about it, and get it. You just gotta get with it, get with it. If you want it, get a
Yeah.
bot or get lucky, go raffles. That's my opinion on
It's,
like
yeah.
people on like bots and like people who complain about them. I'm like, if you're not there for the hype, you'll wait it out. But if you're there just for the hype, you join in. If not, then you be quiet. I guess that's my opinion. Like no, honestly, like cause
Be quiet.
like
Yeah.
as in overseas, I'm in a cook group. I'm in a cook group with a lot of different
Okay.
people. So I've got
Like
quite a lot of
food?
knowledge about no, yeah, no, yeah, no, not food. I guess it's a phrase in the sneaker community. I guess like cooking. So like if you get a lot of W, you kind of cook. You cook the
Oh,
release, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. I
Like, we need to explain these sneaker terms to the
yeah.
viewers. I think
We need
not
to
it's
all.
okay. I'm
explain it.
basically the viewer as well. I'm asking
Yeah.
a lot of questions.
Yeah, I like cooking is like, I guess if you win or like you were able to get or cop a shoe,
Yeah.
then you cook the release, you cook the raffle. That's how you call it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so I'm in that cook group, and there's a lot of things I realized from that cook group. Like a lot of people, I don't know, like the thing is in that cook group, like if you invest your time in the cook group, you keep yourself updated with us as a cook group, then
Mhm.
you will definitely make your money back. Obviously, you need to pay to be in a cook group, but then
Yeah.
you make your money back. But then a lot of people are complaining like, oh wow, it's so expensive. Wow, I can't win anything. Blah blah blah. It's like at the first time we try to be, we try to be more positive towards them. We're like, okay, you know what, it's fine, you'll get it next time. If you gotta try more. But then they just keep complaining, and it's like they just keep on complaining they can't get it, and it gets annoying after a while. Like if you really, the reason why you're in this is because is either you want to resell or you want to buy for collecting, and or buy to collect / wear. And if you want to buy to resell, then you better keep up with us as a cook group. You better have some like capital to
Yeah.
spend on bots, to pack capital to spend on like slots. Like we offer slots
Yeah.
for bots. You need to have money to spend for that if you want to resell. But then if you want to buy just for personal, then you could always wait it out. You could always find a plug. There's so many good, like in that group, in the cook group, a lot of great people, a lot of good networking as well. Like like honestly, even like I have several, like the owner is really nice as well. So that's my opinion about it. Basically about bots and how people think about it. So yeah.
Yeah. I think
But yeah,
even here, I think, yeah, people, it's getting to that scene of cook groups, but like not really yet. I think the cook groups here are private. Most of them are really, really private. But yeah, a lot of people a lot of people here complain that they can't get releases and stuff. But honestly, I think the sneaker scene has become really, really, really saturated the past few years. It's gotten so much more difficult to get these hype shoes, even as a reseller with all these I guess knowledge and on past experiences. It's been getting more difficult because there's more wearers, there's even more people trying to resell. So yeah, you really got to put your effort into it. You can't really stop complaining.
You can't
So I
complain
agree
to
with that.
you can't complain to you can't complain to the company making the shoe. You can't complain to how they sell it. It's just how people is. You can complain all you want, but people will still do it. So
I agree with you. Yeah.
Just get with it. But yeah, but there's like this one like, what you want to say something, Ken?
Yeah, it's like a curiosity that I have. And I think personally for me, I can quite see how sometimes in Indonesia, especially, I think it's overseas, it's worldwide as well, where if you would know someone and you would have a connection with people selling these shoes, for example, you'd be able to reserve a pair for yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? And in Indonesia,
Backdooring?
Backdoor. Yes, that's the term I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think in Indonesia, backdoor is kind of plays a bigger role compared to other countries in Indonesia?
Okay. I don't know how it is in other countries now, the backdoor scene.
Yeah.
But I know it was prominent at one point. But I think these companies, the sneaker companies, the retailers, have been getting down to these backdoors. People that have been backdooring, for sure they've updated their company policies. They've tightened it down so that it's more difficult to backdoor. Same with Indonesia. It was prominent at one point. It still is now, but it's more toned down because from what I've heard, a lot of those people, a lot of the store employees that have been caught giving sneakers to resellers through this backdooring method. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, I personally really hate backdoors, not gonna lie. That's the backdoors are the only thing that I find unfair about the like proper sneaker
It's
community.
bribing. It's bribing.
It's bribing. It's bribing. It really is. I mean, like even here, there's a lot of what's that called? Like raffles and things like that when they announce it on Instagram. Like I'm like companies overseas, like because recently a lot of skate shops. I don't because there's not a lot of skate shops that gets dunks in Indonesia, right? But then in like overseas, there's a lot of skate shops that gets like the most hyped one were the Ben and Jerry's, the Strange Loves. Those were really hyped. And then like those skate shops were getting so many backdoor offers, like a lot, and some of the skate shops even exposed like the people who were asking for backdoors. It was kind of funny. So like there's a lot of stores that are anti backdooring, but then there are some that do backdoors, which is I guess it's really unfair. It's unfair to the sneaker community, and it's unfair to the public who wants to buy the shoe, like legitimately, by the way they say, like, oh, it's gonna be a raffle, everybody joins the raffle. There's no backdoors, but there is a backdoor for a lot of different types of shoe. But yeah, I don't think, I feel like that should be discouraged, but then it's still, again with it's still, I feel like since it's still profit to be made, and like humans be humans, so like there will be still some stores that will do it. So
yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately. But like so like the one thing, because like I've recently just started researching about how the scene is in Indonesia right now. I wasn't aware about the compact shoe and stuff like that, but I was just more researching about how it is, because I kind of left the scene-ish 2018. I left the Indonesian scene 2018, maybe 2018.
Yeah, it was when we left for foundation.
Yeah,
in the UK.
When I left. Yeah, so I left the scene maybe 2018, maybe even earlier than that, because I stopped, and like during that time, I mean, so I stopped and solely just focused on collecting, right? And then when I went overseas, I started reselling again. But then when I came back, I realized when I did some more research, Canon told me about the StockX lookalike called Kick Avenue. So
wait, did I tell you about that? Oh, I did.
You did tell me about Kick Avenue.
I did, because I bought a shoe from them. I bought.
I wasn't aware.
You want Human Racist? Oh. Yeah, Pharrell Williams, Human Racist.
Okay.
The purple one.
Cause like, weren't they
overpriced?
Instagram? They were
overpriced.
These StockX, like sites like these are always overpriced. You can't. The only way you can get it cheaper is you go hunting, like literally hunting like hunting, or unless you have like plugs. If you have plugs, you can get it for cheap.
I get my shoes from StockX. So
yes, StockX, Kick Avenue is like, they're good. Kick Avenue is basically StockX, like, but for Indonesia.
Yeah, and it is.
Yeah, and StockX is like,
I just realized how similar the logo was.
Yeah, they are really similar.
Yeah. I just realized
the color is the same. The color is the same.
It's the same color scheme.
Green, yeah. I'm surprised. StockX just hasn't seen this yet. But then like, overall, like, I think they're just trying to do the same thing. They obviously don't have like the stock like chart thing for Kick Avenue and stuff like that. But it's basically StockX. And the thing about StockX, I don't know. there's a lot of regulations that goes through StockX and stuff like that. Can you even? I'm not sure. Kick Avenue, they have pre-owned so they're mixing. They're kind of
Yeah.
mixing, like Goat has pre-owned
Yeah.
selling. Yeah.
Because StockX doesn't have used sneakers; they only sell brand new ones, right?
Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
like I think it looks nice. It looks like a really nice layout,
It's
and
mhm.
I think you can like seeing the prices of some of these shoes. There's some that you could snipe when they like snipe off. So like
Yeah.
they sometimes sell for way cheaper than usual, but overall
Mhm.
it's basically StockX, and sites like these, like they're still, especially reselling in sites like these is really difficult because shipping costs, then like service costs, all of those costs. There's so many hidden costs
Mhm.
once you start reselling in these type of sites. I don't know about Kick Avenue because I've never tried
Okay.
reselling.
Kick Avenue doesn't have that actually.
It
Kick
doesn't?
Avenue
Oh.
doesn't have most of the costs that I know is prominent in Goat and StockX and other sites of sort.
Oh
So that's
wow.
the only good thing I know from Kick Avenue. But I think Kick Avenue is good as a beginner platform for people that
Yeah.
just want to buy the shoe for
Yeah, for
the
sure.
easy way. But it's just so overpriced. Most shoes there are overpriced. Not all of them, but most things are overpriced. And I think they get sneakers from abroad. They
Yeah, it looks like
pre-order, yeah.
they look like they have like a storage unit and things like they have a storage unit and yeah, they have like a storage
Mm-hmm.
unit. But the one thing, like I feel like these are like sites like StockX is like it's good to as reference to see how much the shoes are selling for. But I feel like
Yeah,
to sell, you should there's other better ways to sell your
yeah,
shoes.
for sure.
Like
Mm-hmm.
overseas, well I mainly use like Depop. I use Depop a lot to sell.
Oh, you use Depop.
Yeah,
Okay.
Depop. Um.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Uh.
eBay, but first.
eBay is good.
Yeah. eBay is good too, but eBay also have fees. eBay has fees,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, yeah.
the thing about using mainly Depop and Facebook Marketplace. Depop and
Okay.
Facebook Marketplace, because
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that.
yeah, because you could discuss with the potential buyers. You could also, instead of going through the hassle of all the fees and things like that, you can discuss if you want to. You could just directly do it through PayPal goods and services, and it's much more it's less you're taking, it's like less, you're spending less to sell. So that's like how I see it. And as
Yeah.
well, since you're talking to the person, you kind of keep them as a customer. I have several people that I resell to already that I still contact if they want shoes or if there's some
Mm-hmm.
releases they want, and it keeps like a steady flow of like customers, which is why I suggest using those type of apps over StockX, unless you're like a really huge reseller, like a big reseller that has like a lot of stock. Then StockX
Yeah.
maybe, but then if you have a big stock, then you can just literally just start your own like independent store on like Instagram or something like that. Because like
Okay.
everybody's starting things on Instagram nowadays, and like
Yeah.
even here there's this one person who started selling on StockX, but then he realized that since he has so much stock, a he opened up Instagram and started selling,
Mm-hmm.
and now he makes more profit,
Mm-hmm.
way more profit than he would just selling on StockX.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's how I see these sites that is how I see them sites. But yeah, like
Okay.
do you think it's like the sneaker selling or like just hype beast culture in general, is it something that people should get, like is it something people should rely on as like a source of income in Indonesia, or should they like, is there like a future for it in Indonesia for like to like focus on and make a business out of it, or like because in overseas a lot of people are doing it, but Indonesia might be a different scene, don't you think so?
That's sorry.
No, it's all good.
Um. Okay, that's a good question. It's really debated here right now. That question, because as I've said before, I mentioned previously, I said that it's people have been arguing that people argue that it's past the prime stage of the sneaker community here in Indonesia because there's a lot of loss of interest by the general population.
Right.
Because of course it was this really big nationwide hype trend, but now it's like toned down. So people have been losing interest, but people are trying. A lot of people I know are trying to jump into sneaker reselling to make a living out of it. I think it's a bit difficult if you want to start, especially if you want to start right now. It's kind of late. It's kind of late in the trend. But for the early birds, for sure, I know they've made their money. They've established businesses that are still running today.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if I recommend new people to jump into sneaker for a main source of income. I think there's more capital needed to start to make it flow good. But I think it's more of a side hustle or a hobby if you want to resell here in Indonesia.
Change your mindset.
Yeah,
have a different mindset towards it.
Yeah, you can't see it as a sustainable source of income anymore.
It's
just a side hustle. It's like something you do for extra cash, extra money. And if you enjoy sneakers, you enjoy clothing, then you should definitely get into it, because it will getting into the reselling business will also save you. It will save you money in your collecting, and then you get connections as well. You get a lot of connections that you could, I don't know, like maybe potential plugs, potential buyers, things like that. So yeah, for sure.
Right,
if you like clothes, if you like clothes, you're eventually gonna go into the reselling community because you're gonna want to buy more for cheap and sell your stuff.
And you want to sell your stuff. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that was probably our last question as well. It's been great having you, Ezra.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
No worries, for sure.
Yeah, that was fun. I
learned new things. It was dope.
Yeah, I haven't dived into the Indonesian hype, like Indonesian sneaker hype scene in a while. So yeah, it's cool. Very refreshing to hear about it.
It's still big for sure though.
Still big? Okay, cool. So when I come back, I'll be fine.
Yeah. You're probably more advanced than a lot of people here, because most of the sneaker people don't really know about selling abroad and eBay, StockX, those kind of stuff. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I just got McDonald's.
Oh,
sorry.
McDonald's.
But yeah, a lot of people here don't know about that. Yeah. So.
Right.
Nice meeting you, Michelle.
Right.
Yeah,
nice to meet you too, man.
Yeah. It was really nice to have you. Take care, Ezra. Bye.
Yeah,
Take care, you guys. Stay healthy, guys.
Yeah, stay healthy, everyone.
See ya.